Support WrestleTalk!
Download the podcast.
Hello and welcome to WrestleRamble. This is Luke Owen, I'm Ollie Davis, and today we're going to be giving our predictions, not reviews, that's the future, our predictions for TLC. Tables, Ladders and Chairs, which is on this Sunday. It's the Raw exclusive pay-per-view. Are you looking forward to it, Luke?
I actually am, you know. Yeah, I think I am. Mainly for the main event. It really is a two-match card.
Yes, the other one being...
Actually, no, a three-match card, I'd say.
The other two being...
Asuka, Emma, and Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss. While I know that the match quality probably won't be great, I've just really enjoyed the build. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to the match. And I think that, given time, the Cruiserweight tag match could be quite fun. So there is opportunities that the undercard could be all right.
I think even though it's on the main show, the Cruiserweight tag match, there's still going to be an ad break. They're going to find some way to do it, and it's going to shrink into the corner like SmackDown. But before we get to the predictions that you can go straight to by clicking the timestamps in the video description below, you could stay right here because we're going to announce the winner, not the winner, where we're at the moment for the WrestleRamble Battle War for the month.
Technically, you are announcing the winner, though, because you're announcing the war of the last Fantasy Booking Warfare.
That's correct. It's both a winner and an update, because this was one battle, but each month is a war with many battles. So far, it's 3-2 to me, because we've both got 2 Raw versus SmackDown votes correct. I think we both went for Raw on 2 occasions.
I think we've gone Raw all month long.
Yeah, so that's 3 weeks of Raw, but everyone for the post Hell in a Cell show of SmackDown, they preferred the SmackDown episode. We said Raw. So we lost. So it's not 3 for 3. We're 2 for 2 on those. But I won the No Mercy predictions to quite dramatic effect. So it's 3-2 to me right now. And we did our Fantasy Booking Warfare for Survivor Series, which was really ill-defined. Because I booked one single feud and you booked an entire card, and then the Royal Rumble, and then the WrestleMania.
Well, no, what I did is I booked a Survivor Series to tell stories to go into the Royal Rumble. What everyone took that as, someone actually said he just booked the Royal Rumble. So I don't think it's quite true.
Yeah, it wasn't. We take on board all of your feedback, and we're going to make it more specific next time.
I think if anything...
It was a very vague premise.
It was a very vague premise. Considering the feedback that I certainly take from mine is that... And it's funny, because I got a text message from a friend of mine who watches the show. And he just texted me out of the blue after the episode had gone up, just saying, "You're robbed. You've been robbed." And the reason why is because he, same age as me, his understanding of Survivor Series is multiple 5-on-5 matches. That's what Survivor Series is. But Survivor Series now isn't that anymore. Survivor Series now is just like maybe one 5-on-5 match or a 2 5-on-5 matches if you include the women. So when I book an entire show of 5-on-5 matches, the feedback that I got, which obviously I do take on board, is that I don't want to see that many 5-on-5 matches. That would be a rubbish show.
Which is valid criticism, I think.
Absolutely valid criticism. There's a reason why WWE stopped doing it. Because Survivor Series buy rates were always down.
They've replaced it with 4 Hell in a Cell matches in Hell in a Cell.
Exactly,
like
yeah.
That.
So that's the criticism that I took on board. Also, probably try not to book too far ahead of time.
Yeah, and we've got to make the initial premise a lot more specific, because if left to my own devices, I will book Bray Wyatt storylines.
Yeah,
that's what any storyline we have, I somehow try and help Bray Wyatt out.
It is funny, really, that was... I mean, of the people that did vote for me, which I appreciate, the criticism of yours was just like, you didn't book Survivor Series at all.
I booked a Survivor Series match.
You booked a match.
3-on-3.
You booked a match that could have been on any pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. But it didn't do you any good.
It didn't do me any good to actually book Survivor Series.
Because the overall results were 61% to me of your votes, 39% to Luke.
Well done, you.
Thank you very much. That brings it to 4-2 in the overall war of the month. Of course, you're thinking, that means Ollie's got it 1 right. Luke's going to have to do a forfeit for once. Not true, because there is still this weekend's TLC Predictions, which is what we're going to do now. There's next week's Raw vs SmackDown competition, and there's next Saturday's Fantasy Booking Warfare. So there are 3 bits you could conceivably win. We could draw on any of them.
I could pull a major comeback.
Yeah, this could be. I mean, this is how babyface and heel dynamics work.
Yeah.
I'm the 5-on-3 heel team. Kane just debuted for me, and there you are with your shield vest.
Yeah, my shield vest and my shield that I've left at home.
Yeah,
Or in
so
the
maybe you
hallway.
can overcome it. You start eliminating my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might pull a Dolph Ziggler at that one Survivor Series when it looked like he might get in a bit of a push that went nowhere.
Should we get on with the actual predictions?
Yeah.
The kickoff match is going to be a feud that's being revisited because it left a lot on the table first time round.
What is it they always say? It's like, oh, a rivalry renewed. Yeah, that's what we've got here on the kickoff show. We've actually got two things on the kickoff show.
Yeah.
We've got this, and we have Drew Gulak doing a extra special presentation of his PowerPoint of how to save 205 Live.
A complete presentation.
Is it a complete presentation?
All 272 slides.
Drew Gulak's awesome. He's the best.
Yeah, because that's so obnoxious, and you just know he's not getting through 3 of those slides. Akira Tozawa's going to come out and do something to him. So yeah, that'll be fun. Mm-hmm. I like Drew Gulak.
I'm a big fan of Drew Gulak. I love this gimmick.
But the thing we were alluding to, the renewed, rekindled, recycled, reanimated feud of Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Now, it was quite haphazard because this only has a 2-week build. It started.
I'd argue it's only had a week build, but
well, I guess you can argue that 5 person elimination match, Fatal 5-Way, whatever it ended up being, was the start of it when Sasha Banks tapped out Fox. Seemed like there was a ref botch, didn't call for the submission when it seemed to happen, and then this week Fox attacked her backstage. If reports are to be believed, it was meant to be Banks versus Nia Jax.
oh really?
Yeah, so a few Wrestling Observer Live reported that. I think at least 2 of the big wrestling reporter names have said it. So that could be why Fox has been put in this feud, and why everything feels a bit off with it or rushed.
Yes.
Because Nia Jax doesn't have a match on this card.
Neither does Bayley, actually.
Neither does Bayley. Yeah, well, that's just because she's been. Poor Bayley.
Yeah, poor old Bayley.
So what are you thinking for Sasha? But I don't really want to spend a large amount of time on
I was going to say,
Banks and Fox.
I think we spend more time on it than they have. And probably will get on the kickoff as well.
Kickoffs usually, I reckon they'll go 10 minutes. Oh, it's Fox though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm guessing 5
7
minutes. They've got to get through all like the social media lounge and like the Legends panel or whatever it is that they've got
and
to
the
do.
272 slides.
Exactly, yeah. So I can't see this getting a lot of time. I'm actually going to go Sasha Banks, even though she won on Monday.
Yes, she did. But then she was attacked backstage, so she got the heat back.
Yeah, I see no reason to give Alicia Fox the win here, so I'm going Sasha Banks.
I am also going to go Sasha Banks, which means I'll go first for the next one. Mm-hmm. A feud which you have gotten into.
Yeah, well, I really like Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick. I like them as a duo. And I'm a big fan of Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. So, as I said, I think if this is given time, this could be a really, really fun match.
Yeah, so when I looked at all the matches on this show, I was like, oh yeah, these are I know all these matches are happening, but in my mind, it was really just one match, and I figured there'd be like 3 others on there, like Survivor Series, because last year's phenomenal Survivor Series match was like 55 minutes long, wasn't it? The longest one ever. So I just sort of assumed the main event here will take an hour.
Probably, it might still do. And just these matches won't be given any time at all.
This is still like a 6-match main card, 7 in total. So yeah, hopefully, maybe these will go a bit short still. Cedric, they certainly have the capability to have a great match. They're all fantastic wrestlers. It's whether WWE let them have it. Yeah. It's the opening match on the card.
As far as we know. I've taken this order from what is on WWE.com, but like it could be thrown out of whack at all. I like all over the show.
I really hope they do get time, because the other Cruiserweight match isn't probably going to deliver from a wrestling standpoint, but this one really could. It'd be nice to show what the Cruiserweights can do. So because you went last time, I'm going to go for Gallagher and Kendrick.
I am doing the same thing.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going with the baddies
with the
on
heels.
This one. Yeah.
I will write these down. BK, Burger King, Brian Kendrick.
Burger King Lawler.
After that, we have Asuka's debut.
The match I'm probably most looking forward to on the whole show. Really am.
Oh no, I'm definitely looking forward to the main event.
Yeah?
Yeah. But like so much more. I'm really, really excited about the main event. I think it's going to be so much fun. I think they're going to tear the house down. Because this, I hope, isn't going to be a match. It's going to be Asuka
coming out and just
destroying her in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we know these two can have a great match because it was the 2 years ago at NXT TakeOver London when I first really became familiar with Asuka. And I was like, she's my favourite now.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That was the best match for the entire night for me. So yeah, we can quite easily call this one, right?
It's Emma, right? Yeah.
Asuka, of course. We're going for Asuka to win. Any other things you predict?
Well,
for the
yeah.
match?
So it's either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to go, as you said, just go in, just like Emma being all like, it's about me, or whatever her gimmick is, and then whoop, kick to the head, 1, 2, 3, and that'll be it. It'll be all about the entrance, the presentation of Asuka, and then the commentators just putting her over like $1 million, just being like, oh my god, she just killed her in one move. Look at this. We don't even we barely got time to show replays, all that sort of gubbins. Or they do what they usually do with NXT call-up matches, or in fact, actually, NXT debut matches. Look at Aleister Black's debut match when he debuted in NXT over WrestleMania weekend. Had a competitive match with Andrade Cien Almas. So there is every chance that she might have a competitive match with Emma and then get the win at the end of it.
I really hope not. Or Emma will actually be Dolph Ziggler, and then they'll be stuck in an eternal feud.
Or they'll do that. Maybe Emma is the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division.
I really think the way to do this is, like you said, Emma comes out, and she's, maybe she even cuts a promo. I started the women's revolution, evolution.
Well, this is quite the debate that we've been having.
I don't know why I got so angry about it.
I don't know why either.
But you
know what's been so funny, and I pointed this out on Twitter when we were having a conversation with someone who got in touch with us. If you go through the comments, there's so many people. There's probably a 50-50 split of going like, Luke's an idiot, it's revolution, and then there's equally the same amount of people going like, Ollie's an idiot, it's evolution. It's so weird how bad this branding is that we, as hardcore fans who watch this thing on a weekly basis, don't actually know what the branding is. Because there is a show on the network, this is what had confused me, called Women's Evolution. And that was when they determined that was the new branding.
Yeah, I have no idea. We're not just hardcore fans who watch everything. It's our job.
It's actually our job, yeah.
So Emma cuts the whatever thing, and then Asuka gets a massive entrance. She's got the really big, like her NXT takeover biggest entrance possible.
Lovely stuff.
She does the mask. She nibbles it a little bit.
Entrance music. I love her theme music,
and it goes on for I'm thinking a 3-4 minute entrance here. Really, so hopefully the crowd are into it. Everyone's putting her over massive. Maybe even a little video package before Asuka comes. So Emma's come out. She cuts her promo. Lights go off, and then like a blum, blum, blum of just Asuka killing people.
Yeah,
and then 5 seconds of pause, bang, and she comes out. And then, Emma's still running her mouth a bit, not on a mic. And like you said, Asuka just kicks her head off. Because Emma doesn't need protecting because she's really wasted already. But if someone loses really quick, it does kind of protect them, like we saw with Brock Lesnar last year. Because there's always that out. Like, I was unaware. You've got a reason.
Call me off surprise.
But if they go if they go 5 minutes, It flattens both people out.
Yeah.
So I really, really hope they just do the very quick 1, 2, 3 move win.
I honestly hope you're right as well.
Next up, we have Kalisto versus Enzo Amore, where Kalisto hopes to be the new Cruiserweight champion while retaining the Cruiserweight championship.
Fingers crossed for Kalisto. So we both sort of went first at that time. So do you want me to go first on this one?
Yes, you go first.
I am going for an Enzo win. I think Enzo's going to regain the Cruiserweight Championship belt. I'm kind of hoping with the help of his Ends World, what would you call it? The
NWO.
Or as someone actually pointed out in the comments yesterday.
Have to do that.
No.
Blur that out.
Someone said in the comments yesterday that I really enjoyed, called NWZO. So
also works.
Yeah, NWZO. That also works.
Also
but yeah,
works.
or NWO. But so I'm going with NWO on this one. I hope his buddies come out and help him secure the win. That's my thinking. And that will then build towards their Survivor Series match.
I completely agree. Yeah, get Kalisto, like all of Enzo's cronies are out there. Maybe Kalisto has Mustafa Ali and a bit of Rich Swann. He always seems to help everyone.
Yeah.
And does a little dance as he's coming down to the ring for it. Enzo is not that great in the ring. Although I really like his selling. I've really come to... he's got this like glazed over...
Well, that's because that's what he was taught in NXT to do. I think we've had this discussion before. It was that when they were a tag team in NXT, it was like, well, you'll be selling to get the heat so the big guy can tag in. And you're going to be a tag team for so long that we don't really need to teach how to be a singles wrestler.
So yeah, when people say Enzo can't wrestle, if quite a large portion of being a good wrestler is selling really well, and Enzo's one of my favourite sellers, does that make Amori a good wrestler in my eyes? I don't know. But he can't, like, the offense and taking moves isn't his forte. So what do? You protect it. And because we've been watching WCW Halloween Havoc 98 recently, just overbook the heckins out of this match, where Enzo's cronies are on the outside. They are constantly badgering the referee. Make the referee look stupid in this match, because it all fits in Enzo's realm, his universe that he's created around himself.
Protect Kalisto as well.
Helps protect Kalisto. And when Enzo wins, you're like, you won by megally cheating. You are just all mouth and no skill. It worked, and that's his character. So I really hope they do it that way, but I'm pretty sure they'll just do, because they do, and it is a positive for WWE, but sometimes it does hinder stories and characters. I think they do really protect their referees.
Mm-hmm.
Which you got to respect, because that's one of New Japan's major flaws. They treat them like rubbish, and not in like an employment sense, because I imagine it's the other way around, but in like, people will cheat quite obviously in front of the referee, and the referee does nothing, and it diminishes the authority. But here, WWE are probably, I think, going to book a match where they just go 5-7 minutes, and then one of Enzo's cronies cheats behind the referee's back at the end. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think it'd be a lot better if there is just non-stop cheating throughout, and Enzo's always trying to cheat. Because there's no one like that on the main roster.
No
one is... like, Miz has had Maurice for a while, but no one is just always trying to cheat. Not even trying to get a move in.
Yeah, no, I agree. If it's an overbooked schmoz, I think it will be all the better for it.
Definitely. So then we have...
probably the most intriguing matchup on the entire card.
I don't even find it intriguing. I don't want to see it.
Do you know what? Perhaps it's just my love of all things bad.
Mm-hmm.
I really am kind of excited to see it's the House of Horrors thing all over again. It's the discussion we had way back when, which is like, this sounds like they don't know what it is, we don't know what it is. I bet you it's going to be rubbish, but honestly I can't wait to see it, because I think it's going to be trash. And then when the House of Horrors, when that tractor went past and with no one riding it, I was like, this is obviously the best match ever. I'm already sold on this.
Well, I quite enjoyed the House of Horrors thing as well, but I didn't like the in-ring stuff that came later on. And this is all presumably going to be in ring.
As far as it could be down to the compound for all we know. They could do it like really smoke and mirrors. I think it'll be in the ring, don't worry.
I would prefer that. I would much prefer that. Because then at least like you can control the crowd. You don't have the crowd reaction. So I guess you control it. And it's gonna be bad. At least make it the fun bad.
Also, if you do it that way and you film it down the compound, you can do all the camera trickery and stuff of having Bray go from Sister Abigail back to Bray and back to Sister Abigail, and Finn Balor changing into the Demon, not changing into the Demon, rather than just having both of them as they currently are in the ring with face paint melting off them.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the ring though. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty confident on that.
Well, if it happens at all, because Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, because they're brothers, are ill. JoJo is also ill. Make of that connection what you will. And there are apparently some serious doubts that Bray's gonna make.
Oh, really? Was this on Wrestling Observer?
Along with a few other people. So it was from Pro Wrestling Vote, who were the Twitter account that broke Nia Jax and Neville. So there's theories,
Well,
speculation.
let's say-
someone who works for WWE.
Should we say broke Nia Jax because we don't know if that story is? Do we know if that story is legit yet?
Well, she certainly. Well, he never said that. That Twitter account said possibly walked out,
Yeah.
but everything else, she's definitely. On
Okay.
a leave
Well,
of
what I'm saying
absence.
is rather than just saying broke, rather than saying broke, can we say broke in inverted commas because we don't know if the story is.
But everyone
correct.
else has confirmed it.
That's what I'm
Oh,
asking.
yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Oh, sorry, yeah, like Pro Wrestling Sheet have
That's
confirmed
okay,
it.
yeah.
So's Wrestling Observer. Sports Illustrated did a big article today.
That's what I was asking.
And same with Neville.
Yeah.
So it seems like this person has an in. I went through their Twitter feed actually, and someone asked, "Do you work for WWE?" And he was like, "No, I don't." So I don't know. So that they said maybe Bray Wyatt might still be ill come this Sunday. So and if he has been off for 2 weeks recovering, he's gonna be not ring ready. There's gonna be a bit of rust there. Not like, like conditioning stuff. 2 weeks off ill. If it's a serious illness, not serious illness, but if you're really unwell and you're in bed all the time, going into a pay-per-view match in a new costume that you haven't wrestled in before.
And lots of makeup.
Yeah, that's going to make you hot. It's going to sweat. Yeah, maybe he won't wear makeup. Maybe he's so ill, fluey, that he could just come in all pale and, oh, God, it feels awful.
I am genuinely interested to see where you're going to go with this one.
Okay, well, I think Finn Balor's going to win.
Yeah?
Yeah, who about you?
I'm going Finn as well.
Lot of similar things here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this doesn't work in my favour, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Finn... Because if Bray wins... and that's the end of the feud, and you are moving Finn over to Brock Lesnar, I think that is a foolish move. However, this feud needs to end.
Yes.
Because if Bray wins, or Sister Abigail wins, and you continue this feud through to Survivor Series, that's then 5 pay-per-views that they've had this match? Because this is the fourth.
I believe it's the third.
Oh no, sorry, it's the fourth match because they had the match on
yeah.
Raw that we thought was then going to take it off Survivor Series, off SummerSlam, and then they didn't. So it's the fourth match. It'll be the 5th match that they've had in this feud. I'm sticking with Finn, but I may change my mind to Sister Abigail at some point.
Well, it is. Sister Abigail is the debuting character. Vince McMahon loves the
Fantastique,
the macabre. So maybe he would put Sister Abigail over. And I suppose if Bray is Sister Abigail, and then Sister Abigail as a female call-up wrestler does debut in the match and costs Finn the match, that does protect Finn somewhat, and then Finn can go off, and you've gotten over this Sister Abigail nonsense and transferred it to someone else. That's the best way I can see of resetting everyone.
Are you saying #heat transference?
Heat transference. I'm also trying to book Bray Wyatt better again. It's my favourite thing to do. But yeah. Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James, one of the better built feuds in the women's division in all of WWE all year.
Yeah, actually, I'd agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I mean, look at Bliss's stuff so far. The Bayley feud was awful with, one of the worst segments in a long, long time with the This Is Your Life thing. Then the Sasha Banks stuff was rushed because she was a replacement for Bayley. The Nia Jax stuff was good, but they just dropped it out of nowhere and fluffed that.
They had the match, remember?
Yeah, that 5-minute throwaway match, which was mostly ad breaks.
And then they retconned that by making them best friends again.
Oh, yeah, ridiculous. So, yeah, definitely on Raw.
So on the SmackDown side of things, you've had Naomi's had the belt for most of the year. In a feud with Lana, and then had a feud with Natalya, which she lost the belt to.
And now it's Natalya and Charlotte.
And now it's Natalya and Charlotte. So yeah, this is the best booked women's feud of 2017.
Yeah, I'm more invested in Mickie James than I have been any of the other women.
Absolutely.
I just like the other women. I like them as wrestlers and as characters, but they haven't done anything to get me involved in a title shot or a title chase. Becky, if you gave Becky Lynch that opportunity, I'll be in there right away. I think we are talking about WrestleMania, everything after WrestleMania.
Yes.
When we say 2017, we mean
the WWE
the school year,
the WWE 2017.
Yeah. Because I can't. Yeah, I think there were a few good ones. So I went first last time.
I'm going Bliss. I think that that's fairly obvious. There's no need to put the belt on to Mickie at this point. And I think it's better to keep the belt on to Alexa Bliss until you have Asuka beat her at WrestleMania. Fingers crossed.
So I'm saying Bliss as well. Because the Asuka stuff, I like Nia Jax. I think, to be honest, I would like Nia Jax to finally, if they tell that story again, beat Bliss at Rumble, and then Nia Jax versus Asuka at WrestleMania. Although that match, did that match ever happen in NXT?
Yes, it did. It happened at one of the takeovers they did. I think it was Nia's last takeover before she went up.
I don't remember enjoying that match.
It wasn't one of Asuka's best.
Yeah. But Nia's come a long way since.
Absolutely, that's very true. She's got a lot of main roster experience now, so I think that will certainly help the match a little bit more. Plus, they really like Nia Jax. I think they like her more on the main roster than they did in NXT.
So, because it is more of a body thing on the main roster.
Yeah.
And our main event, which I genuinely cannot wait for. I'm getting like SummerSlam Fatal 4-Way vibes off this, just because it's gonna be insane. It's going to be so much fun. Tables, ladders, and chairs. So they've effectively having a hardcore match with 8 guys. And, okay, let's just put Roman Reigns and Kane to one side. And The Miz. You've still got 4 people there who had one of the better matches in WWE this year. Cesaro, Sheamus, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. And Braun Strowman. I forgot about Braun Strowman, who's just like this. I mean, I don't know how they're going to balance the Kane-Strowman power spot share, but
I can tell you exactly how they'll do it. They'll just take turns doing moves to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I'll try and do one better than you.
Just
maybe.
Like power slam, choke slam, pick him up, another power slam, tombstone. They'll just beat the heckins out of Roman Reigns because then he can get the spear and win at the end.
We've been saying, what does Braun Strowman do after his feud with Brock Lesnar? And now he's been involved in this one. A match with Kane. A short feud with Kane, and then eventually going over Kane, because Kane, he's off to be the mayor of Hard Knocks. And that, like, a Braun Strowman I retired Kane, that's real solid.
Well, I mean, I've been pushing for Kane to have like a good last run angle before he does hang up the mask forever. I'm a big Kane mark. I'm really excited that he's in this match. I know there's a few people in the comments of yesterday's video who really don't like the fact that Kane is back now. But I think it's great. I'm really on board with Kane. I think this match is going to be absolute carnage, and it's going to be wonderful and absolutely fantastic, spectacular. 3-on-5. It's just going to be absolute carnage all over. And I think it's going to be, I think you're right, I think it's going to get a good 45, 50 minutes. It actually, and it's funny, you said earlier about how this will be a really long match and you have much shorter matches on the undercard. They could just do what they did with Hell in a Cell, where it's like, it's the network. They run the whole thing. They could just run long. If the undercard runs long, and this match is going really well, just give it more time. So, I could see this at least going 45, 50 minutes, and it's just going to be really fun.
It's that really long one last year at Survivor Series was, of course, an elimination match, which you can go a lot longer with because you pace it out through people getting eliminated. But this is just one fall to a finish.
This is one fall to a finish.
It's a TLC match where there's nothing to grab from the top of the ladder.
But it's just tables, ladders, and chairs are legal weapons. That's how the marketing has been pushing it as well. It's just like, here's what you can do with a ladder. It's not been like reach up, grab the belt, or anything like that, which is how they usually push TLC matches. And that's actually something else that some people have brought up to me on Twitter, asking if I'm disappointed that there isn't a chairs match or a ladder match. And actually, I think it's better, if you're going to do gimmick pay-per-views, to just have the one gimmick match.
Yeah.
Like, I loved the New Day Usos Hell in a Cell match, but how much more would the Kevin Owens Shane McMahon match felt if it was the only Hell in a Cell match of the night? Like, it would have felt more spectacular because it's the first time you're seeing it that night. So I think it actually is a good thing that we've only got the one TLC match on the card, and I'm glad it's this one.
I completely agree. What would you say to having the tag team championships and the Intercontinental Championship hanging from the top for this match?
No, well, because then they're on opposite teams.
Well, the idea is Reigns, that because they're the Shield now, Ambrose and Rollins have put their titles on the line for Miz's Intercontinental title belt, and if the heels win,
they get all the gold.
They get the tag team
Well,
titles.
I mean, as I said, like my prediction for this is that Roman's going to get beaten down a lot by Kane and Braun, and then Roman will spear Miz and pin him for the win. And then at the December pay-per-view, Roman's going to face Miz. Because actually, I wonder... I thought about this on Wednesday, but I didn't mention it. Someone actually mentioned it in the comments on yesterday's video as well. If they're building towards WrestleMania this year, the same way they did WrestleMania 6, which is Roman's going in as Intercontinental Champion to be Intercontinental Champion and Universal Champion. The first person to hold both belts at the same time.
Oh, I always thought he was just going to win the Intercontinental title and then drop it.
I mean,
just so he gets the Grand Slam before.
No, I mean, he possibly could do. Or if they wanted to keep him strong until Mania, and not have him take a loss, he goes into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion.
So you've written Kane here.
Yeah.
So everyone else in our notes, everyone else's names are normal and capitalized at the start. Kane is spelt with 4 A's and all in capitals.
Yeah, well, it comes from, I think it was on a draft. It was on a draft. And I think it was when Kane was drafted to ECW. I don't know who was doing commentary, but just very excitedly went, Kane! Nice. So every time I hear Kane's name, that's what I hear.
You don't hear It's Gotta Be Kane.
Or It's Gotta Be Kane.
So the idea... A lot of people criticise, us included, the Shield for being hollow nostalgia. And it totally is. Mm-hmm. We are still enjoying it, but it's very superficial. Kane is also nostalgia. But I just wanted to say that I think Kane is the good form of nostalgia because it's fan service in a nicer, more complete way. There is a reason for it. You know, it's the 20 years after his debut. It just feels right,
Roman
doesn't it?
retired.
It clicks.
The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Kane was like the Shield's first opponents when they came in. I'm really excited that Kane's a part of the match because, as I said, like I think that him just kind of like going by the wayside isn't really a great way to treat someone who's given 20 years of service. The same way that like I was disappointed that Christian never got a retirement angle. One week he was wrestling, the next week he wasn't. That's the story of Christian.
Yeah. Kane's previous feud was against Luke Harper on SmackDown
was it really?
Last December, I think. Yeah, that was the last time we saw him.
I wasn't listening with Randy Orton as well, and that was when Randy Orton turned heel to side with the Wyatt family.
That would have been pre Luke Harper
was
in
it?
December. Yeah. Randy Orton turned aligned in September, I think.
God Lord, was it really?
Yeah, it was a good storyline.
Man,
for like 4 or 5 months there.
Wow, I thought it was. I didn't think it was that long. I mean, I've played my hand already of who I'm going for in this match.
Shield.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be right. Like, especially if you are doing this for a very short run, you have to give the Shield the win here.
Okay.
And plus, it's the Shield overcoming the insurmountable odds.
Okay. So I was gonna say the Shield. And I might still say that I'm probably still going to say the Shield because it is their first time back. You don't want to beat them. But there's an Undertaker factor.
I was going to ask, do you think there is going to be, an Undertaker return? Because that's what a lot of people are kind of speculating. However, what I will say, I feel that we've been speculating that all year.
It's gonna be forever.
Like every year, every pay-per-view we've done since WrestleMania, it's just like, will there be the Undertaker return that a lot of people are speculating about?
Well, someone said there was a dong at the end of the No Mercy, the first trailer for No Mercy, like the dong, not a giant penis. And that was one of the rumors. He was back in the ring at SummerSlam before the show, but apparently that was just for video game stuff. If he turns up, Survivor Series is in his home state.
It's the pay-per-view he debuted on.
Yeah, 25? No, it was 1990, so it'd be 27.
Yeah. A pay-per-view that had multiple Survivor Series matches, just as an FYI.
Kane is there.
Yep.
I don't like... If Braun and Kane are doing a lot of Brothers of Destruction spots... I'm going to go with the Shield, but I'm going to do that thing you do but if Undertaker comes back, I'm also right.
I don't think I've ever done that. I might have done that.
But who do you think's gonna win this weekend's TLC matches? Let us know in the comments down below, and click the videos that have just appeared over Luke's face to catch up with the latest WrestleRamble or WrestleTalk news. Support this channel on Patreon, subscribe to the channel on YouTube and on your chosen podcast provider. This is a great WrestleRamble podcast, and of course, order the magazine using the link in the video description below. This has been Luke Owen, I've been Ollie Davis, and that was Rambling.